JD5 is a go. Mike Evans, no go. Emeka Egbuka on the rise. We've got Drake London out. We've got a whole bunch of other news. Kyren Williams off the injury report. Not even on the injury report. The Fantasy Football Show. News consolidation of all the news that's been breaking all day long. That show begins right now. File on in. Fire him up.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Breaking news edition, little special edition. This is not the 8 p.m. show. This is the show before the 8 p.m. show. That means we've got 2 more live streams at least tonight before, right even before midnight strikes. And probably an additional Dynasty live stream at some point. We are multi-streaming to Rumble right now, which we will not always do. This is just as we get the Rumble channel up and running and making sure there's awareness about the Rumble channel. The Rumble channel will have its own dedicated show. Probably, it might be a random time, but trying to do at least 5 shows, Monday through Friday, 5 shows a week on Rumble. It'll be a completely different, different stream. So you'll have to follow over on Rumble. Hit that Rumble link that I just dropped in the live chat. Also, subscribe to the Dynasty channel. That link is pinned in the live chat right now. Sub to the Dynasty channel. The Dynasty channel isn't leaving. I smell meatloaf. We aren't leaving. All right, let's get to this news. JD5 is a go for week number 14. Fire him up. Tons of rushing capability. That alone makes him a top, 5 QB play anytime he's on the field. Now, there could be some sort of, slow rolling JD5 out. Maybe they don't run him a lot. There's certainly a chance that we don't get the production we exactly want out of this one. But it's certainly, dependent on your situation, too. Some of you already started Dak. Dak was a good play on paper last night. Fantastic play. You can't get mad over that. It was a good opportunity. And if Lamb had not gotten injured, I believe Dak would have finished with 350 and 2 touchdowns and might not even had the 2 interceptions. He might have had just the 1. Hard to say how the game would have ended, but I think that Lamb being out definitely hampered that offense from scoring an additional touchdown. So, it is what it is. If you haven't started Dak yet, if you still have some dilemmas, you got Jordan Love, you got other quarterbacks to compare Brissett without MHJ, without Dortch. We'll talk about Dortch in a second. JD5 is a viable option in a guaranteed top 10 quarterback whenever, not guaranteed, I should say near guaranteed, a top 10 quarterback play anytime he's on the field and fully healthy and has all of his weapons. So it will be intriguing to see JD5's finish to the year because there's a lot of questions, even myself, as to where to rank him walking into 2026 and beyond. Dynasty redraft, he's an enigma right now from a ranking perspective, given the injury, given his inability to stay healthy, given the state of the offense, given the coaching staff, the decision-making, everything folding for this team that was so promised glory at the beginning of the year, it's hard to know where to rank JD5. But JD5 is back. Fire him up if you need him, and we can go through your dilemmas case by case if you've got any. Drake London knee won't play Atlanta's Week 14 outing against the Seahawks. This is horrible news for everyone involved because this is a tough Seattle defense that's now going to focus on trying to shut down Bijan, which, they might not do fully, but it's certainly going to be probably not Bijan's best game he's ever had, but you can't sit him. Bijan's a must play. You always start your studs, but definitely not what you wanted to hear. Kyren Williams, again, this is fantastic news. Let him cook.
Let him cook.
I had somebody say that they didn't like the Kyren song. They said the Kyren song was lame. They put it in my comments. So I wanted to apologize to no one and play it.
He's Kyren. He's 7 feet tall. And he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyren. He can take frowns. and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
That person's Bijan card has been revoked. That's one of the best songs ever created. It will be dropping on Spotify whether that person likes it or not. Kyren removed from the injury report and will play week 14 against the Cardinals. Love to see it. And anybody doubting this guy because of the previous news that said they're trying to keep him fresh for the playoffs, they don't know ball or they're just have a lazy take. This is explaining why he's getting 70 and 90 yards and a touchdown, or 80 yards and a touchdown, or 90 yards and 2 touchdowns instead of 150 yards and a touchdown. They are going to keep doing what they've been doing, which means Kyren's still a very, very locked in, loaded, low-end running back 1 or super ultra high-end running back 2. Anybody contemplating sitting Kyren because of the recent news literally is a panic Peter, and that's understandable. That part I'm okay. You're panic Peter. I'm here to calm the panic Peters and to give you a sense of calmness, right? That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. No laps being taken. You don't have to be ashamed of yourself. Your meatloaf, you don't need to cancel the meatloaf rack your mom's got in the oven right now, preheating at 350. You can get whatever you want in life. Just calm down, relax. I'm here to help that. But if you're actually out here going, yeah, I'm going to sit Kyren because they said something that explained while he's already doing what he's doing, you don't understand what the hell you're doing. You should log out of your app right now, hand your phone over to your significant other, let them run your teams because you don't know what in the hell you're doing. Kyren is still a locked and loaded running back 1, and the explanations about the workload are we're already seeing what they're doing, and he's producing. What the hell do people want out of Kyren? Kyren has to prove himself every week. Every week Kyren goes out and does work, and the next week he's got to beg everybody to start him. Beg you to believe in him. Beg you to put him out there so he can get you a touchdown and 70, 80 yards on the ground. And yet you still complain. You cry. You complain. You mope. You do your little, why me? Look at Blake Corum. Boy, Corum's taking his job. Blake Corum, Kyren hasn't even seen the field. Oh, he's got 80 and a touchdown at the end of the game. It's so boring. It's so boring to hear. Stop with your Kyren complaining. It's absolutely maddening. Mike Evans, this guy probably playing next week. They don't want to rush him back. It's smart. And this gives Buka a little more run this week. But I'm not like scared of Buka getting sent to the back burner if Evans returns, Godwin's back. I think it just makes defenses say, hey, we're covering the Hall of Fame wide receiver. And so Buka is going to have a lot more slot play, a lot more drag routes, a lot more across the middle of the field, which is where he's at his premium and his prime. That's where he's taking the ball, turning, facing the opposing defense and saying, I'm a kick returner in this frame of mind. I'm going to take this to the house. That's where Buka knifes through defenses, cuts across field for 40, 50 yards. That is Buka's bread and butter. I'm very, very welcoming of Evans coming back. Not to mention Evans will be eased back a little bit. Buka's going to be fine. Anybody trying to sit Buka right now is wild. But especially this week with Evans out. CeeDee Lamb is in the protocol. Again, as I reported, a lot of people are like, people are telling me there's some doctors out there on Twitter telling me that he's not fencing. Look, you can say whatever you want. No one knows what exactly happened because we don't get all the details. But when I watched this, there was some fencing going on with his arms. And you can say whatever you want. The only thing we know for certain about concussions is no one knows anything about concussions. An expert in the concussion field, a doctor that studies concussions for a living, the brain damage that is a concussion, will tell you we don't have a lot of information, nor will we ever, because the brain is a complete mystery. But what we do know is when a brain is severely injured and there's some brain damage and fencing takes place, it is a more severe situation, whether you want to believe it or not, because someone else told you. It's a more serious situation than if you don't have the fencing mechanisms in the concussion state that you're in when you're concussed. If you are fencing, that means your brain is literally rebooting because it's been knocked out. The plug's been pulled, and your body goes into a blocking positioning to try and block either the fall, so you land like that to block whatever's attacking you that caused the concussion. But certainly we're worried about this. But the good news is he has an extra amount of days that no one normally has when they suffer a concussion. Usually a player has a very strong chance of missing a week because the concussion happens and there's a 7-day window of time to get back on the field. But the fact that CeeDee Lamb has the Friday today, Saturday, then all of Sunday, and then starts on the normal time frame someone would have to get over a Sunday concussion to play Sunday football, this is good news for CeeDee Lamb. The likelihood of CeeDee Lamb, in my opinion, is more than the 50% likely chance to play in week number 15. I think that he just has a lot of time. He's a young kid, doesn't have a lot of concussion concerns anyway. Every concussion, most likely, the one thing I can tell you about concussions is every concussion you have, you're more susceptible to the next concussion. It's kind of like a shortcut to get one. And so never good to have one. But CeeDee Lamb doesn't have a history, a long history of having concussions that leads us to believe that he's more susceptible to getting one. When you're more susceptible to getting one, they will sit you out a little bit longer and potentially put you in a holding pattern longer just to make sure you're completely good. But when you pass the protocol, you pass the protocol. Now, passing the protocol doesn't necessarily mean you're at less risk of getting a concussion than normal. It's the normal amount of risk. It is just a protocol. It's not perfect, and nor do I think it completely covers the athlete. I think it's a selfish timeline, to be honest with you. You don't have brain damage and go play football the next week, but this is the NFL that we live in, and they will shove him out onto the field, assuming he passes the protocol, which I think he's got probably 60-70% chance maybe of passing the protocol. I think when we get to Monday or Tuesday, we'll see him further along in the protocol than the average person would be on a Monday or Tuesday. So I think we'll have a good chance of him playing, but we'll have more information on that. But CeeDee Lamb in the concussion protocol after the concussion and what looks to be fencing posture. Kyler Murray, according to his head coach, Jonathan Gannon, is not expected to return this season with the foot, but he will probably never play for the Cardinals again. That's almost a certainty. I think the certainty that Jahmyr Gibbs is the best running back in the National Football League.
You've just been Smitty approved.
That's the only thing more certain than Kyler Murray not playing for the Cardinals ever again. Where does he go? LV? Where does he go? Minnesota? Where does he go? I don't know. But all I know is the Cardinals don't want him. I don't want him. And whoever's receiving him probably shouldn't want him either, because the guy can't play consistent football. He can't see over the offensive line. He's the perfect offense in order to execute. And if you went to LV, they wouldn't know how to use him. If you went to Minnesota, I don't think he fits in that system. If you went elsewhere, you'd have to rework the entire system around Kyler. That is the problem with some running quarterbacks. That's why Lamar Jackson was not as sought after as he should have been. You know, everyone's going to be down on Lamar right now. But because if you bring Lamar into your system and your system isn't conducive to Lamar's play, you have to completely revamp the scheme around Lamar Jackson, around Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray can't see over the offensive line. A lot of the play structures require him scrambling outside the pocket so he can have a clear field of vision to hit his wide receivers. Otherwise, he can't see anybody on the left side of the field when he's kind of slightly to the right side of the offensive line, or especially when he's scrambling to the right side, he can't see across the field. He can't see anything. This is a very limited player. This is a very limited player, Kyler Murray, that has a lot of upside when in the right system. Like in Kingsbury's system, it worked well. If you put him in Washington, he'd probably be pretty efficient for as long as he could stay healthy and be kind of a good quarterback. But would he bring you a championship? The answer is he'll give you 0 championships. This is not a championship caliber quarterback. This is not a quarterback that's going to march you through consecutive, hard, tough fought playoff wins. But this guy, yeah, he's a COD, Call of Duty monster. And whenever Call of Duty has an update, this man's there to answer the call. And so good luck to whoever gets him. I hope there's some sort of trade and not a release of some kind. I hope they can trade this man and get some sort of value. They should have traded him in the offseason. They should have never signed him to an extension. I did extensive live streaming back to back on not signing Kyler Murray. I even predicted they wouldn't give him an extension because they said they weren't going to. They said they were going to make him earn it. Then they didn't. Then they went back on their word and they signed Kyler Murray. and were not honest about how they were approaching that situation. In Arizona, another debacle here. Marvin Harrison Jr. A heel injury is going to keep him out. Little itty bitty heel injuries keeping Marv out week 14. What a baby. What a baby. This guy is such a disappointment. He's supposed to be a specimen, but his little heel, little itty bitty heel poo, little heely poo injury is going to keep him out of football for week number 14. This guy's got the opportunity of a lifetime with the Briskinator, just slinging the rock all over the field. Just absolutely throwing this thing, throwing dimes here, dimes there, interception, no problem. Another dime here. I'll throw 40, 45 plus times. Let's have a 50 completion game. And yet this guy's nowhere to be found. You've got a party going on in the backyard with an inflatable slide. This guy's sitting in the front yard digging mud puddles. What in the hell's wrong with this guy? And I don't want to hear it. Oh, you can't help he can help it. This guy needs to figure it out. This is his time to shine. He's finally got a quarterback out there that isn't named Kyler Murray throwing the ball into the dirt. And what does he do? We don't know. He's nowhere to be found. So good job. Good job, Marv. Good job. Unbelievable. Michael Wilson, value on the rise. But the problem is, without Dortch, now, I mean, this is going to be, let me see if I can find this Dortch clip here. Gannon said Greg Dortch chest won't play Arizona's Week 14 game against the Rams. That means that you're going to have a lot of attention on Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson's a good play, but he's not a lock. He could get like 12 targets, catch 5 balls. It could be one of those games. But, you start him if you've got him and you're in desperation mode. Definitely a good play. T. Higgins cleared concussion protocol and will play in week 14. That's fantastic news. T. Higgins, fire him up. Joe Burrow on the rise. Joe Burrow's matchup isn't the easiest in the world, but guess what? That's what Joe Burrow does for a living. He is a I'll figure it out artist. That's what he does. So T. Higgins, fire T. Higgins up, fire Jamar Chase up, fire Chase Brown up, fire Joe Burrow up. Don't have any hesitations because of matchup. You start your studs. Those guys are all 4 studs. Rome Odunze ruled out. This could be good for the other wide receivers on the roster, assuming DJ Moore can get healthy, stay healthy, and play healthy. You've got Luther Burden, the rookie, could get some uptick. But this is also still reliant upon a guy named Caleb Williams to facilitate the football evenly, which is something he is not very capable of doing. And the defense and Ben Johnson just keep carrying Caleb, and people think Caleb's a great quarterback right now because this team is firing on all cylinders the way Ben Johnson designed it. Ben Johnson's the real mother freaking deal. The Chicago Bears are just balling because of this guy, and they'll continue to. And if Bagent has to come in at some point in the future, whether it's this year, next year, Bagent will ball as well because that's what Ben Johnson does. It's a system. Jimmy Garoppolo and Caleb Williams, it's the same thing. You got Shanahan marching this Niner team into NFC championship games, into the Super Bowl. He's got Jimmy Garoppolo as his quarterback, and people think, oh, he's good. He might be good. Jimmy's actually pretty good. Jimmy was never good. It was Shanahan that orchestrated that facade. And while Caleb has good ability to scramble, get out of trouble, and has a cannon of an arm, there's no doubt about it. He's got skills, but a lot of quarterbacks have a cannon attached to their shoulder. Levis has one of the best cannons to ever enter the NFL. Has Levis ever really stayed in any sort of starting role? No. It doesn't matter how good of a cannon you have attached to your arm. It doesn't matter how good you can scramble. You still got to be able to execute. But guess what? Ben Johnson can take the solid play of Caleb and turn it into what looks and appears to be good, almost great play at times. But we'll see how this story and narrative unfolds as they try and get into a more leveled up positioning later on. This team with Ben Johnson, the rush attack, the mediocre quarterback play is looking very sufficient. And at some point, it either takes one more step up and Caleb does take a big step forward, or they figure something out. But this is definitely a well-playing Bears team that has one of the toughest schedules, the last remaining 4 games. The Bears could either win 1, maybe 2, or lose all 4 of their next 4 games. It is one of the toughest schedules you could face. So more to come on that. Lamar Jackson will play week 14. He's banged up. Hard to sit him. Depends on your options, but I'm not sitting Lamar Jackson lightly. He's capable of having that insane bounce back performance. Alvin Kamara won't play week 14. Devin Neal is a decent start. Trey Benson will return this season, but he's just not there yet, says his head coach. I don't trust his head coach. I mean, I'm obviously a little frustrated with where he's at and the news that we've gotten around Benson. Benson had to have suffered a setback because he's so past the expiration date of his projected time off and recovery time frame. He is so far beyond that. It's not even funny. We've just been sitting here waiting. Something happened. We're never told the honest truth about what's going on with some of these players, and this is just more evidence to that. Let's see here. We've got these super chats. Let me get through the super chats real quickly. We've got this one from Chief. Chief says JD5 or Stafford. Stafford is safer. JD5 is higher risk, higher reward potentially with the mobility, but I think you got to go Stafford because he's still playing like a top 5 QB. It's just a safer play. Dart or JD5. I'd go JD5 over Dart in that context there. Thank you, pal. Appreciate you. Jayden Daniels or Mahomes versus the Texans defense. I don't understand why we're asking about Mahomes, though. I mean, I understand if you wanted to start JD5 over Mahomes, I'm not going to make you take a lap necessarily, but I don't know how you're sitting the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football, or in some formats, he's 1 or 2 points behind Josh Allen. So he's tied really for the number 1 quarter. Like, you start your studs, bro. It could this backfire? Sure. But that's fantasy. You know, sitting the top quarterback in fantasy football is just, I don't even understand where that logic comes from. I appreciate your super chat. I'm only answering it that way so you understand the passion behind my answer. Anything can happen. If your gut says JD5 over Mahomes, it's the matchup. I understand. I'm not going to send you on a lap. I'm just not going to be a party to having somebody sit Patrick Mahomes. Sorry, JD5 or Stafford this week. Stafford, as I said, rest of the season. JD5 or Dart, JD5. Thank you, pal. Appreciate you for the super chat. Keep Daniels or Williams. Jayden Daniels over Williams for sure. Thank you, pal. Appreciate you. Drop Gadsden for San Francisco D, week 15. Andrews is your other tight end. I mean, it's a crapshoot. It's a coin toss. Either one could help you. I mean, could Gadsden bounce back? Sure. Could Gadsden not bounce back and just wait until 2026 to break out? Certainly possible. I think as of this moment, we don't have a lot of evidence that Gadsden's going to bounce back, so I'm okay with making this move. But I'm also telling you it's very, very conceivable that that Gadsden could bounce back, but we just don't know when. Are you going to start him until he does? You know, then you can pick him back up, hopefully, again. JD5 or Darnold this week. I'd probably go JD5, but anything can happen. JD5 or Dart rest of season. I go JD5. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. If Dart had all of his weapons, it'd be a little different. Michael Wilson or T. Higgins. T. Higgins, not close, in my opinion. With all the possible weather, snow, and all the weapons back for Burrow, it worries me a tad. I understand. I'm just not sitting Burrow unless we get, and we'll have a report tomorrow night. And I reserve the right to change my mind based on the weather reports. But once we have more of a weather report, it's not just cold weather. Joe Burrow can play in cold weather. It's got to be wind. Even light rain, even light snow doesn't bother me. It's about wind. And we'll know more about wind and such tomorrow. So hang tight on that. But until then, Burrow is a lock for me and all the players involved. If there's wind, we will account for it. And we will react to it. I had somebody that literally put in my comments, Smitty, you said St. Brown was going to miss 1 to 3 weeks. And so I sat him because of you. You know, like essentially telling me to take a lap. And I put in the comments, bro, you either don't read or listen to what I'm saying at all. Because we said at any moment this guy could play. He's that wild. He's a wild man. But I do live streams whenever news breaks. So we did an additional live stream when St. Brown was going to play. And we told you he was going to start. So that's on you. That's your fault. The fact that some people complain about hearing something 3 days prior, and I go live every day, 3 times a day practically, if not 4, sometimes 5. And some of the complaining Caleb's are just absolutely unreal. I sat St. Brown because of a live stream last week. How dare you, Smitty? So we got to understand that when we say we're starting Burrow, when we say we're starting Chase Brown, we're starting T. Higgins, we're starting T. Higgins over Wilson. If a news update comes in, if weather comes in, and we're talking Saturday night about 70-mile-per-hour winds and a tornado that's going to land right in the middle of the center of the field, then we will adjust and adapt accordingly. And if you're not here to watch it, that is on you. Not on me, not on anybody else. That is on you.
Take a big lap. We don't need your head mask. Take a lap.
Last super chat to get caught up, and then we'll open the phone lines. This one's from Carrie. Appreciate you, ETN or Watson. I'll probably go ETN, but there is a little bit of risk there that he could flip, into a 50-50 or worse role. It's possible. It's certainly possible. Drop Benson for Burden. I don't know. That's coin toss. I mean, at some point I want Benson more, but he's not available right now, and his coach said he's not ready. I don't know that he would say that. He might say next week if it was next week, so I don't know. I'd say probably playing JD5 against he's playing playoff spot. Yeah, I'd go get Burden. I'd rather have Burden at this moment in time. Start Monangai, Green Bay, or Hampton versus Philly. Probably Monangai. Feels a little bit safer right now, but hopefully we get enough out of Hampton this week to know what to do with them in week 1 of the playoffs. Ibuka or Harvey. Harvey is higher risk, higher reward for sure. I really love both of them. My answer is both, Renee. My answer is figure it out. But I would say if I had to lean in a vacuum, which one, if I'm ranking the two that I'm telling you to start both of, I'd say I'd lean Buka slightly. But I'm not telling you to sit one of them. It's impossible. But I lean Buka slightly. You got Mike Evans out. You're probably going to see Buka rebound through a rookie wall at some point. Anybody that thinks Buka's done for the year and he's just going to level out, I don't know how many times I've got to describe that the elite rookies will bust through the rookie wall, will break through it and go off like a rocket ship. That's why Buka is a rocket ship, because he will bust through. Blame another man when you control your own team. It's not even that, though. It's that you're complaining that I did a live stream that I did an additional update on. And he's like, I want to take your one standalone live stream when the projections for Amon-Ra were 1 to 3 weeks. And we said in those streams, he didn't even listen. In those streams, I said, but he's the kind of guy that could play with the muscle ripping off the bone. So who knows what he's going to do? Could he play? Sure. We got to monitor that. And I think I even said word for word verbatim. 1 to 3 weeks, but if something happens, we will go live. And we went live. And then here's this guy complaining, Caleb, in the comments. I don't take responsibility for my team, Smitty. I started St. Brown because you said 3 days prior he'd play, and I never checked. Started, or I think he started or benched him. I forget. Oh, yeah, benched him, I mean. Benched him, and then he played, and he wished he had him in his lineup. That's what he said. Unbelievable. You said 3 weeks ago, Smitty. You guys have no idea what I deal with on a daily basis. The characters and the comments and the wildness that I deal with day in and day out. It makes me shake my head. Some of it is so crazy and just wild. You wouldn't even believe it. You wouldn't even believe it if I told you the amount of stuff I read. Some of the voicemails I get, I don't ever check them, but once in a while I'll you just won't believe it. Smitty, you said in the offseason that you liked Ollie Gordon. And I didn't draft Achane because of that, and I blame you. And I just want you to know that you were wrong on Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon is an upside play. Achane's been the darling of this channel for how long, and you don't know better to draft Achane? All we do is talk up Achane. We invented Achane. We invented Jameer Gibbs. We invented them. But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10. All right, let's open up these phone lines and deal with some stuff. Let's do it.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
All right, dial in. JD5. I don't know, Christopher. I don't know what he thought on the HN stuff. The HN complainer in the chat, not this chat, but the comments. The Amon-Ra St. Brown, you told me he was out 1 to 3 weeks, and I locked it in. It didn't seem to check your daily show, Smitty, for prognosis and updates. That one, and then what was the other one that was absolutely off the rocker? And last night, just nonstop. It's nonstop. It's, the bigger we get, the more craziness that ends up coming in. But that's part of it. We enjoy it. It's part of the entertainment value of the show. And by no means am I complaining about what I do for a living. It's the best job in the world. But it does come with some wild times. It does come with some craziness. Mute yourself real quickly. Both of you mute yourselves real quickly. JD5 or Herbert. JD5 for me. Herbert's playing injured. McLaurin or Marion Hampton. McLaurin for now. I'd go JD5 and McLaurin. It's just the safer play at this juncture. But you will be facing a dilemma next week. But that's the good part about this week is I think no matter what, you'll do well with those options, and then you'll have a really good handle on what to do walking into Week 15 playoff Week 1. Let's go over to Ricky. Ricky, appreciate you. You're live.
Yo, Smitty, what's up?
What's up?
Just got a quick one for you. I just made this trade on our Wild Wild West. I want to get your opinion on it, and then the start and sit. The trade was I got Bucky and Zay. And I gave up Tua, London, Burden, and Swift.
Tua, London, Burden,
and Swift. And this is super flex for those that don't know.
Super flex redraft. And your quarterbacks will be who?
Mahomes and
Shador. Well, yeah, I think I already answered this one on Patreon, I think. But Patreon or somewhere. But yeah, Tua is.
It was me and Gary, so he probably.
Yeah. Tua's. You're talking about Shador and Tua each week, and while I probably would rather start Tua, there's some good and bad that come with that. So I get, hey, let me just commit to one of the QBs. Let's commit to Shador. Mm-hmm. Let's hope he does better. And then let's roll with Bucky as an upgrade. The thing about London is we don't know where London's even going to be at. Swift, I like Swift, though. I'd say that this team could help both of you, especially if he was in dire straits at QB. But I'd rather have Bucky in my lineup with the potential downgrade of Tua to Shador, given that we don't even know how that could be. That it might not even be a downgrade. I'm fine with this trade. I don't think you smash them into pieces because I think that there is some sort of quarterback value you lost, but who knows? Hopefully Shador comes with the Thunder. I think he could. He could bring it. I like it.
And this week, do you start Zay Flowers or Kareem Hunt Sunday night?
Rob
Mahomes.
Hunt's safer.
I'm a Chiefs fan too.
Zay higher risk, higher reward. I would say if you need safety, you want like 8 to 12 points, go Hunt. If you want 3 points or 18, go Zay.
Bet. High risk Zay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, but there's a chance for 3, bro. Chance for 2 points. All right, my man. Later. All right, let me go over to this next caller, then over to Travis after that. Let's see here. 310, you're live, young man.
Smitty, my man, just wanted to ask, would you rather pick up Quorum and drop Neal this week? And then my second question was, if Mike Evans comes back and looks good, would you start him over JJ rest of the season?
Well, let's let JJ play this week with J9 again. Let's let Evans come back before we start making, determinations about Evans. Like, I have no idea what Evans isn't playing this week. So for me to make a future call on somebody that's not ready to come back this week, I think is reckless. So I'm not going to go there, other than let's let everything, the dust settle this week, walk into the news cycle next week with what Evans looks like. Oh, he's actually great. He could have played last week. He looks fantastic. Then we have more information. I'm not making a future call yet. As for Corum or Neal, I'd probably say that Neal's probably safer play this week. I'd rather have Corum on the long-term 4 weeks remaining, but if I need to play this week, it's Neal. But I'd rather have Corum longer term.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Smitty.
All right, later, bro.
Have a good one.
And then this super chat here. I know everybody wants me to get the crystal ball out and tell them what I want to do for the rest of the season, lock it in for players that aren't even playing yet. I can't like Smitty, we play in London when he gets back, or are we going with I don't know. We gotta wait. That's so reckless. I can't tell you London. I can't tell you what Evans is gonna do yet. We have to see why, what, how, JJ, what's he do? If JJ has 100 yards and 10 catches this week, then there's hope that J9 is going to get better with his confidence boost of having nobody behind him anymore. So there's a lot at play. JD5 or Herbert, I already did this one. And then the last super chat, at least to catch up right now, would be Sat, Aubrey for Myers. Started CD, Pickens, and Dak. Okay. Simi Valley, thank you for the super chat, my boy. Aubrey for Myers, Sat Aubrey for Myers. I got it. I don't think there's a question in here, but you're just telling us. Thank you, Simi. Appreciate you. Travis, you're live.
Hey, what's up? In Dynasty, what's your outlook on Jayden Blue right now?
Not great because, and this isn't to say I don't still like the talent, but I don't know. You'd think if they loved him, they'd be using him a little bit. They'd be sprinkling him in. It would have taken them long time to get adjusted, of course. But then now we're seeing him on the field, And Javonte hasn't been actually exploding down the stretch here. There's an opportunity to say, hey, let's see what this could do here, and they just don't seem to want to use him.
Yeah, and Malik Davis has been the one active.
Yeah.
And he always looks decent in the backup role.
So I'd probably just say, he's no better than... I'm trying to even think
of Smith. Are they the same bucket?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good comp. I mean, because they're both talents, but they're not being used, so...
So, droppable...
Sure.
In one Dynasty League, I have a Dunze, Harrison. I need a receiver. So if I need to pick up a receiver, drop him.
Yeah. I definitely could drop Jayden Blue. Not to mention, I don't think you're going to hear something before he pops again. Hey, we're going to rise him up on the... you'll probably be able to react to it enough to get him again. I don't think you'll just, wake up one morning and he has 100 yards. You'll know he's coming. You'll hear
I mean,
this and that. You'll
someone might pick him up.
Maybe.
Right.
But I like him. Look, I've always liked Jayden Blue. I mean, I love the attitude he had when people said he wasn't lazy, and he's like, yeah, I'll show you. And man, it felt like it was going to be a big year for him at some point, and we just haven't seen it. A couple of those things have happened this year, and I don't necessarily think that rookies are taking a step back. I know it's easy to say that, look at Dante Thornton, look at Jayden Blue, look at Ollie Gordon. There was a lot of hype behind those guys, and the hype felt real. It felt like we were going to see, specifically, and more than those guys, Harris, the rookie receiver in LAC. It felt like those guys had so much momentum, the draft capital, the excitement. Even a guy like what's his name? Rams rookie running back.
Jarquez
Hunter. We thought Hunter. The excitement that Sean or McVay had when he drafted him was like, oh my God, we got it. They're like hugging. It felt like he had sold his, firstborn child for that draft selection, and they don't even use him. Like, so you could get caught up in the rookie hype a lot. And I admit I fall victim to that sometimes, but that's where some of our bread and butter bold predictions, best calls have come from the rookies. So I'm not scared off by it at all. The difference will be trying to decipher through the bad situations like Dante Thornton and just saying, what are the odds that as a rookie, as a raw talent, with the offensive play calling, with the quarterback, with this head coach, that this can come to fruition? Those are the things that we got to look at. What are the odds? Now, do I think Jayden Blue had, in hindsight, a tough roadmap to get to the lineup? I don't think so. I think he's one that just confuses me because it felt like it was a pretty good lack of obstacles in his way, and he just never, developed. Harris,
I think
crowded
injuries affected
yeah.
it too,
Harris, crowded situation. But what people will do is they'll overreact and over adjust to rookies, and they'll say, I'm not, like you see it sometimes in the comments, I'm never going drafting rookies anymore high again. And I like that because that's going to allow me, you, everybody watching right now to not have to go ham on rookies because everyone's going to over adjust the wrong direction, and we'll be able to slip in at still a little bit bold here and there, but we'll come in very comfortably and grab rookies 2026 and not have to reach like we normally would be capable of reaching on guys we really like. I do think that Harvey, Hendy, Hampton, Hunter got some of the rawest ends of the deal. I mean, like these four guys got the worst-handed situations, worst-handed situations in some respects that we've ever seen collectively. Like, let alone for one of those guys. Like, for one of them to get handed a horrible, dealt deck of cards or a hand of cards at the onset of their season and throughout majority of it would have been like, okay, that makes sense. We should have seen, but to have all these guys encounter these delays in getting into the lineup, lack of support from the coaching staff, and just a real delayed reaction getting him work. Travis Hunter going through everything that he went through. Genty, getting a better quarterback than he had ever had, or I'm sorry, that the Raiders have ever had, but having just a worse implemented offense and an offensive line that honestly is so bad. You watch film on it, and they have literally two guys blocking one guy on almost every other play, and a guy just like looking around as if nobody, like, did the whistle blow? Why do I have this wide open lane? I'll just walk straight in and smash the quarterback into the ground. This is the worst playing offensive line I've ever seen in my life. So there's so many things that are going to scare a lot of other people off, but the odds of us having all these rookies fall into these spots again are slim to none. But we will take it with caution, but I think that the caution by everybody else overreacting is going to benefit us greatly. Anything else?
Yeah, you want to hit? I think you got a super chat.
Yeah,
do that.
you here. All right. Start two: DK, BTJ, Mitchell, Knight, Burden, Sage. Sage? What are we doing with Sage? What are you talking about there, bro? Okay. Let me see if I got all of them on screen here. Start two. We're going DK and I don't know, bro. DK and probably, I'd hate to not play BTJ in this scenario, I suppose, but I hate playing him at the same time. I absolutely despise him. Like, we're going to drop him off and never, return. Like, the final day, it's going to be like, okay, there you are, week 17, put him in the lineup. Okay, 2 points. Okay, bye-bye. And walk away. It's like done. Finally completed the cycle. Like, he's just he's trash. Knight is okay. That's 8 points maybe. Sure. If you want guaranteed 8 points, I guess go Knight, assuming he's healthy and playing. Is that 80 Mitchell? There's Keaton Mitchell, 80 Mitchell. You haven't clarified that being. So I'm assuming it's 80 Mitchell, but you really want to clarify that when you're using players that have the same names. I'd probably say AD Mitchell and DK are what I'd ultimately go with. It's really hard for me to sit BTJ. I feel like at any moment he could have one big game and then go back to being trash. And I don't know. You just want to conquer it, I think is what it is. You want to conquer the situation. Give me AD Mitchell and DK for safety. Give me BTJ, DK for a high upside. If you wanted to play Mitchell and BTJ because you see, that's fine too. But I'd go DK and AD Mitchell for safety, DK, BTJ for high risk, high reward. Thank you for the super chat, young man. JD5 or Brisket. I'm going to go without MHJ, without Dortch, and playing that tough matchup. I'm going to lean toward going JD5. Scary Terry or Sutton. You could hedge this in that way that you flip them, but I would probably say I'm still playing Scary Terry. I like Sutton more than most, and last week I'd recommended a lot of people start Sutton, and he ended up doing fairly well. So I'm a pretty decent believer in Sutton right now, but I'd take McLaurin. Hi, Smitty. Greetings from Germany. Need a win. 7-6, 14 team. Take one flex. Burden. Anderson, Jayden, Higgins, Reed, Neal. I don't know, bro. That's so bad. I guess Higgins is safe. Burden's high risk, high reward. Neal's pretty safe too. But I don't think Neal's going to explode. So it's Neal or Higgins if you want like 7 or 8 points. If you want a chance for 2 or 3 points because of Caleb and how that all unfolds, or a chance for 18, Burden. Addison's kind of interesting, even though they don't use him properly. He's just such a good player. I'd probably say Higgins, safety, Burden, high risk, high reward. You got to kind of pick your poison. You need a win. I get it. I don't know if safety helps you do that or if you need a big swing to win, though. Rough start with Pickens and Ferguson. With May out, how do you feel about Briskinator, Wilson stacked this week, Flex, Warren, Sharps, or Hampton? How do you, Travis, would you start Hampton sharing work or Wilson with the tough matchup, probably mostly all the decent defensive attention in a tough matchup with no MHJ or Dortch? Or Sharps, I guess.
I want to say Wilson because I feel like he's going to get 15 targets either way, but there's risk. How many carries do you think Hampton gets, I guess is the question.
I don't know. Hard to say. We're really batting blind. I think safety is Wilson, but it's going to maybe be like 11, 12 targets and like 5 or 6 receptions. It's going to be a really bad conversion.
Right.
I'd probably say Wilson for safety, Hampton, high risk, high reward. I just don't. We'll know more tomorrow, Jimmy. Can you come back in tomorrow? We'll know a lot more about Hampton tomorrow. I think we just need some time.
Yeah.
But right now, that's the answer. Burden to the moon. Maybe. I mean, Burden's either going to not go to the moon and get you 2 points, or he's going to the moon and getting you 18. That's for sure. And we like Burden. We're big Burden people.
I think he gets some pretty good looks with Odunze out.
Absolutely.
I mean, Odunze's still getting like 5 to 7 targets a game. I think Loveland starts to get some more looks too.
Yeah, and it could be a lot of DJ Moore, assuming he's healthy and everything. But yeah, I definitely think Burden's one of our sneakier wide receiver 4 plays. Like you're hurt at your wide receiver 3, your wide receiver 3 is on a bye. Like he's a wide receiver 4, Burden, but he's a sneaky one for sure. But it is high risk, high reward. It's 2 or 18. He's getting you 2 points or he's getting you 18. So you got to prepare for that. I know this is dumb, so send me on a lap if needed. Would you drop Knicks for JD5? Would love to drop Goff for him, but I played him last night. I don't know if it's like I'm not necessarily going to send you on a lap because every league's different and you can only house so many quarterbacks, and I get it, but problem is if you give an opponent of yours that's struggling at QB but has a great team because they've been hit with injury, you give them Knicks, or you giving them a lifeline that they don't deserve or need. So I guess I'd look into that before I do that. Like, if teams don't need quarterbacks at all, the teams that you're competing against, then I guess I'm okay with it. But you
Also,
better not
are you stashing someone that's not going to, like, are you set at running back and Neal is your sixth running back? I drop Neal in that case.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I drop him everywhere.
Or if they're like, hey, I'm gonna pick up A.D. Mitchell right now because I hear all this stuff about him. It's like, do you need him? You know, like, I'd rather have Knicks than A.D. Mitchell if you're never going to use A.D. Mitchell. You know, I get the hype behind players like that, but it just depends on what you're doing. But is it dumb? No. But it's dumb if you're giving the number 2 or 3 or 4 seed or just any playoff team at all, any one of the playoff teams, a quarterback that if you give them Knicks, now they're dangerous. So figure out another drop probably. We went over London not playing, MHJ not playing, Mike Evans not playing, JD5 he is playing. Went through all the other news. Kyren not even on the injury report. Fire him up. We'll be back at 8 p.m. Eastern. Travis, you got anything else?
Did you see if there was any news on Pat Bryant? If he was limited again, or because I'm wondering Bryant and Franklin, because Bryant's seems to be taking that number 2 spot, but then he's limited at practice, and so I wasn't sure if there was any news on that. I can't find it.
Let's see here. I don't know if I don't see much of an update. Just that he was limited on Thursday. So we're kind of waiting on that one. I just think
the last month. Oh, go ahead.
I was just say I think Sutton's the one that's going to benefit most.
Yeah. And the last question, I'll jump off the phone. In terms of defenses, if you had the Rams and the Ravens, would you want to hold the Saints too, or to keep them away from someone, or would you rather add a depth piece out
over who though? Over who? What piece he adding?
I don't want to say a lot. It would be like a depth wide receiver, but like right now I have London, Harrison, Odunze all hurt. So right now I'm starting Olave and A.D. Mitchell at wide.
I mean, if you think the receiver is going to play for you at all, sure. But I mean, if let's say 15 points instead of 4 defensively is going to cause you to keep advancing, and you're like, damn, I'm glad I got a 15-point defensive play this week, then I guess that if you believe in the Saints, that's a good play.
Actually, I guess the real question is, would you, in that situation, would you rather drop Jayden Blue or third defense?
I like Jayden Blue, but I just don't know that there's anything there.
Okay.
We just don't. I mean,
I agree.
I like him, but I have no feeling right now that they like him.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. All right. Thanks,
All
Smitty.
right. Thanks, Travis. See you at 8 p.m. Later, bro. Pick 2, JD5, Brissett, Mayfield, Superflex. We're going to go ahead and sit Brissett, I think, in this situation. Tough matchup, down 2 wide receivers, not just one. Mayfield, I think, has a big day. JD5. Pick 2, Ladd, JJ, Pierce, Mitchell, D. Smith. JJ and probably Devontae Smith. JJ and Pierce would be safer. JJ, Devontae Smith, higher risk, higher reward. So let me rephrase that. I would definitely go probably either way. But JJ, I lock in. I know that it's easy to say why, but I believe that J9 will be better for him. And I think J9 just responds a little bit better this week with nothing to lose now. He doesn't have to worry about being replaced. He's the only quarterback. There's just nothing. There's not. So I think he calms him a little bit, and they're going to try and work with him. They got to see if he's got anything. They have to test him, max him out, and do what they can. I think it'll be a successful day for the most part. Alec Pierce versus Devontae Smith is your call. Chat, vote Devontae Smith or Alec Pierce. At least 10 votes. Devontae Smith, Alec Pierce. Please give me at least 10 votes on that one. Let's help our pal out with that one. And then this last question, and then we're out of here. Started Dak, but got Dak Burrow JD5 for playoffs. Started Dak, but got Dak Burrow JD5 play. Okay. I mean, Dak didn't. It wasn't the end of the world performance for Dak. Like 350 and a touch was. I mean, unless you got -6 for INTs or something, you're screwed. But if you got -1 for INTs, they're not a big deal. If you got -2, if you got -3, then, it depends. But not the end of the world for Dak. It was either, depending on that scoring, it was either a decent day at the end of the day, the 350 and 1, some rushing as well, or you got screwed with the interceptions. But Burrow, JD5, I think Dak was the right play. You can't beat yourself up over that, bro. I would have started Dak. Dak was like the QB 2, 3, 4 across the industry with lineup data. And the last super chat, and then we'll be back at 8 p.m. Eastern. PPR, start Burrow or JD5. I go Burrow. Loveland or Andrews. I probably go Andrews right now, but that's a crapshoot. Those are really, really close calls. Guys, make sure you get on over to the Patreon. The Patreon is 365, 24/7 live chatting. And a whole lot more this offseason. There'll be Dynasty content flowing through the Patreon and then to the Dynasty channel, which we have pinned right now in the live chat. So please subscribe to the Dynasty channel in the live chat. We're also live, and we won't always do this, but right now we're simultaneously streaming to Rumble. Please subscribe to the Rumble channel. There will be exclusive Rumble content on Rumble that you can't get on any of the other platforms. So make sure you subscribe. I'll see you all at 8 p.m. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you, Spencer. Thank you to everybody that super chatted. Let me read you all off just because I'm grateful for you. Chief, appreciate you. Rodney, Chief, Craven, or Kevin, Anonymous, Taylor, Sandwich, appreciate you. Carrie, appreciate you. 2316, appreciate you. Sports, appreciate you. Burke, appreciate you, Burke. Cash Money, appreciate you. Paul, Simi Valley, Bing, Tomas, appreciate you. Loud, HCA Loud, appreciate you. Rod, A-Rod, appreciate you. Jimmy, Chris, appreciate you. D-Rock, Tomas again, Rock out, and then Spencer. I'll see you all at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're live whenever big news breaks. We're live additionally at midnight Eastern almost every single night. So live at 8 p.m. Eastern, then live at midnight Eastern. 2 more live streams to go tonight. Deuce.